Hello, hello. Steve, Canadian Sasquatch, coming at you with a Happy Homebrew Wednesday, FIF Friday, Thirsty Thursday, whatever you want to call it. This is my second attempt at this. I was using my beautiful bride's camera again. I was trying to use rechargeable batteries this time, and they went kaput. So, yeah. So what we have here, we have 2 beers. Because if you do a half and half, then you're going to end up with 2 beers. So this one here, on the bottom we have Fistful of Unidragon with a fisticuffs on top. And then this one here is fisticuffs on the bottom and Fistful of Unidragon on top. And as you can tell, they mixed. So what I noticed on them was the one that you poured first is what you could taste. So on this one, which was the Fistful of Unidragon, I get mostly Fistful of Unidragon. This one I poured fisticuffs first, and I get mostly fisticuffs. I really thought there would be a better delineation between these two, specifically, well, it's, so fisticuffs, if you'll remember from last week when I made the Black Eyed Betty, it's a English style barley wine. And then the Fistful of Dragon, Clown Shoes Fistful of Dragon, is a Russian Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels, and it's one of the only tasty beverages that I actually like that's got the bourbon barrel in it, because there isn't that much bourbon flavor. It's mostly the woody oak flavor from it. So yeah, it's so I'm calling this combination Goro. I think that's how you pronounce it. Goro. I don't know why I'm looking over that way. Calling it that because, well, 1, 2. So I'm double fisting. I still have the fisticuffs and the Fistful of Dragon, so I could be quadruple fisting while fighting, because, well, fisticuffs and a Fistful of Unidragon, Mortal Kombat, Goro was the 4-armed boss guy or whatever. Anyways, yeah, it's pretty lame. I figured it was time for a tasty beverage because I've been working all morning. Cheers, everybody. Been working all morning on my workbench. I'm going to pause this and flip you around. Can I pause this? What does that do? I don't know what that did. Alright, so yeah, so I have been working on this. So I got the top done today. So it's just sitting on the legs. I still have to attach it, but before I do that, I want to get the basin installed, because I'll be putting in plywood down there for a shelf. And then I've got a middle divider that'll run along there to split into 2, because I'm going to have drawers on this side, and then just open with one shelf on that side. And then if we come around here, which there's nothing here, but I'm going to skin the back 3 sides, and over here I'm actually going to have power. So so I'm going to set it up so I have power running into the workbench, and wheels, so I can wheel it wherever I want, and then plug in the workbench, and I'll have power outlets for doing whatever I need to do, so I only have to like run one cable, and then I can just plug stuff in easily. Because I have my table saw, I've got my skill saw, drills and sanders and all that, and it's just handy to have extra plugs rather than just one. So you're not always plugging and unplugging and stuff. So yeah, so that's that. Other updates. This past Thursday, I took off work and I did some brewing. And depending on how lazy I am, I may or may not put footage of that at the end of this video. So if this video just kind of ends, then I decided not to put the footage, because flipping between my beautiful bride's camera and my phone, and just there's videos everywhere, and it's just a mess. I did try doing, I did do the mead review, the last mead review, that's posted. I did a couple homebrew reviews from Dave the Welsh Brewer, and I also did up a little bit of the driveway troll, because I got to try that, so I videoed that, and that was one tasty beverage. So yeah, so I brewed the black and white beer, so the chocolate oatmeal stout and the sweet lemon vanilla porter. Sweet lemon vanilla? Yeah, sweet lemon vanilla porter. So I got those two brewed up. Mostly went okay. No real issues with anything. And then I did my Fireball mead, got that going. We'll see how that one goes, because, well, I kind of actually I dumped pretty much all the honey into the bucket. So 13 pounds of honey into the bucket, at which point I realized the Star San was still in there. Luckily it was only a couple cups worth of Star San, so hopefully it'll just all dilute out and be alright, because Star San does break down into essentially yeast nutrients and other tasty stuff. So as of today, so today is Saturday, I did that Thursday, it has dropped down a couple points. I didn't put any actual nutrients in there at the time because I had to, what was it? I had to do the math because I didn't have all the nutrients I needed, but I had different nutrients, so I had to do the math, and then everything was kind of rock solid, so I had to put them through a blender to get them up and running. So I did that this morning. Fed them a good healthy dose. They're in the fermentation chamber. The beers are fermenting madly, which is good. The mead, we'll see how it goes. I'll probably check in on it later tonight. Give it another stir and aeration, because meads definitely need that. What else is going on? Not much else is going on here. The garden's looking pretty sad. I'm gonna flip you around and I'll do a hop update anyways. Alright, I still have to clean up all my mess. So here's the hops. They're actually doing pretty good right now. I got all these little extra guys shooting off, and this guy's shooting off, and then I got this nifty little spider web, which if it stopped blowing you'd be able to see it better, and the other side's doing pretty good. So I guess not bad for first year hops in a bucket of old dirt. Nothing like everybody else's hops, the Clements homebrew and under the table brewing hops. They're looking crazy good compared to these poor things, but it's my first time, and Texas is not known for growing hops, so do a quick little. There's the big, nothing exciting there. The orange, nothing exciting. We got some more ghost chilies. ripening. Everybody's wilted. I need to water. Marigolds, rubber tree. Mint's doing really good. This is the chocolate mint. Our basil is decided to kick things off pretty strong. The oregano's doing alright. Sage and thyme and stevia are kind of looking sickly. This tomato plant's looking kind of sickly. Sweet mint is doing okay. And then in here we've got just apparently grass growing now, which is kind of weird. And then, oh yeah, I hacked down the tomato bush because, well, apparently the tomatoes weren't very good, and it was starting to get really hard to actually use the composter. So yeah, so I hacked it down, hacked it up, and put it inside the composter again. So that's pretty much all that's going on around here. I just gotta clean up my mess from the woodworking stuff and call it a day. It's supposed to get up to 105 before the heat index. The humidity is around upper 80 to 90%, so the heat index is probably going to be 120-ish or more. So yeah, get all this cleaned up, get me cleaned up, find some food, do some video editing, do some label editing. I gotta make some labels for some of my beers, and put some finalizing touches on the next meat challenge. So stay tuned for info on that. I think it'll be a fun one. This one was a fun one. I was quite happy with how things turned out. Glad everybody who was in it was in it. Bummed that we had about a 50% dropout, but next time I'm going to be able to accommodate more, so hopefully more people make it all the way through with a shorter time frame, because we'll be doing a different kind of mead, which should theoretically not need as long of time to mature, although it'll still taste better the longer it matures. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. So cheers everybody, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing. Subscribe button's down over here, the like button's over here. Unless this video is backwards, then flip them the other way around. And thanks for the comments, I appreciate that. I do like interacting with everybody, so leave a comment. Whatever it is, just say hi. If you have questions, feel free to ask. Doesn't have to be brewing related, woodworking related. Ask me anything. I got answers. They may be right or not, but I have answers. So cheers everybody. Be sure to have a pint of awesome. I know I will have a whole bunch of pints of awesome. Yes, yes indeed. Alright, so here we have our hops. Look, little froggy. And where did he come from? He came from underneath the hops. And there's another one, right there. So we have frogs living underneath our hops, which is ironically crazy, because, well, hopping and frogs and such. So yeah, there you go. A little extra footage.